Good evening, folks. Dr. Freedom here with you. Time for some Doctor News. News from in and around the Hoodiverse that may or may not affect you in some way, shape, or form. Well, unlike, I think the only thing that affected a lot of fans out there more was the surprising death of Clara Oswald. Forgive me, I'm not putting a spoiler alert up for that because it's been over 24 hours now. So if you haven't seen it by now, I am deeply sorry. I was just on a chat with somebody, and I still can't believe how ingrateful a bunch of people are. Okay, had the nerve to say Capaldi can't act and blah blah this and blah blah that, and I'm like, these are the same guys who a couple of years ago, after the Tennant and Smith era, were sitting there complaining that the Doctor wasn't dark enough. They were tired of the romance angle, and blah blah blah. Series 8 comes along. They bring on an older Doctor. They, much more experienced actor. And, no disrespect to Tennant or Matt Smith. They were both incredibly brilliant in their own ways. But the romance angle went out the window. And yet you still got these guys sitting out there whining and complaining. And I just can't figure it out for the life of me. When are they going to be happy? Sure, there were a lot of younger, female fans who were a little bit, angsty because the Doctor was no longer going to have cute buns and hug and kiss on Snog with his companion. But that's just the way it is. And for me, since Series 8, you'll notice I haven't been complaining at all. I've been really enjoying the ride now. And, sure, it's, not going to last forever. The Capaldi era will sooner or later come to an end. But I got confidence in, what's going on. And of course, I still love how everybody's shouting about Moffat. Now, I quit doing that when I found out a lot of things that were going on in the background, and some of the forces that Stephen Moffat had to contend with. And trust me, if you knew half the stuff I've been hearing over the last couple of weeks, you'd be astonished. And all stuff I've also heard earlier that really changed my mind about Stephen Moffat. And you know what? I'm going to say this loudly and proudly right now. I apologize. Anything that I've said that, I doubt he's ever listened to the show, then I do. Because I didn't, someone once told me to judge slowly, and that's what I should have done. But of course, I jumped on the hate bandwagon for a while there myself. I'll admit it openly. But I have been enjoying these last few series, especially these episodes we've been getting over the last couple of years immensely, even more than I did with Tennant and Smith, which is very, very hard. They're both very brilliant actors and had some very, very incredible companions, incredible stories. And you know what? As much as I was, one of the guys saying, Clara should have left a long time ago, I was still moved by the way we lost her character. It was just an incredible, set of circumstances that led to that character's death. And, the one statement that pops into my head always when I look back on that episode, even though it's just last night and I looked over it a few times, is pride always cometh before a fall. And I think that was a very powerful lesson learned in the end of that episode. But to those guys who are out there saying Capaldi's mailing it in and all that, please don't watch the show anymore. If all you're going to do is sit there and complain, then turn the television knob. The BBC does not show up to your house, on every continent and stick a pair of blinders on your head and hook up your eyeballs like they did to Malcolm McDowell in Clockwork Orange and sit there and drop teardrops into your eyes and force you to watch Doctor Who. If you don't like it, don't freaking watch it. I'm not kidding. It's just amazing to me. And a lot of people used to get that advice, and I'd get angry. But you know what? You just sit back and wait, and you never know. Something may come on that will amaze you. But enough of my ranting. Let's get to the news, shall we? Because I can go on about this kind of stuff all day. I used to be on that side of the fence. And I'm going to tell this person the same thing I told a lot of people. Welcome to the minority. It's a very boring place. I used to live there. Okay, let's go ahead and let's hop on, shall we? Okay, now there's a bunch of clips out, but for some reason they don't have them all on the BBC One page. So this, if you run on over to the BBC channel, they've got a couple of them over here on YouTube, and this is I just watched this one. Why does Claire face the Raven? Or if you go over here, they have the Raven blooper. That one's going to give you a little bit of a laugh. Return of Riggsy, talking to Joyvon Wade, and Jenna Coleman going over some of her favorite episodes, that she was on. So these are where you're going to get them. I'll put links up to both the BBC channel, videos, I guess, and this one here. So that way you can enjoy it. I found 4 of them, but someone said there's one more. So I don't know. Good luck. It should pop up somewhere sooner or later. All right. The Face the Raven press reaction. Now, from what I've read so far, there's been once again, very few people that have been dissatisfied. Except for, say, IGN felt that the end was missing something. And so far, all triumphant, all incredible, all praising this episode. Sure, companion deaths are not that often in Doctor Who. I think we've only had I think there was Sarah Kingdom, Katarina, Adric, and now now Clara Oswald. There weren't that many. If I missed any, let me know. I don't think I have, but the memory, I've stripped a few gears in the brain box, being as old as I am, and that happens every now and then. So if I missed any, feel free to comment in the box. I'll take a look at it, and maybe I missed one. I'll have to chalk it up and remember it next time. So once again, this is the media's reaction to Face the Raven. Like I said, all pretty much positive, except for I think IGN threw a fit about it. And change is difficult, but if you're watching Doctor Who, you get used to it. You got to, it's got to change itself every now and then. Keep fresh, keep moving. Okay, now here's 17 tweets that perfectly sum up the internet's reaction to last night's Face the Raven. If you want to go through these, there's a bunch of different examples from Twitter and whatnot. I think you'll get them an enjoyable read. All right, why Clara's Doctor Who exit left actress Jenna Coleman in tears. Get ready for this. This makes me laugh. Okay, admits she was shocked by her character's exit from the hit family show. Really? Really? But, she was shocked because of the story, but she already knew she was leaving. But, okay. The episode risks more controversy just weeks after the show showed an airliner being shot down. Now, many of the show's 5 million viewers are children and saw the Doctor's companion, Clara Oswald, die slowly in agony. The Sunday People reports. She stood perfectly still as a squawking raven flew through her body, and spooky black smoke floated out of her mouth before she died. Oh my God, they make it sound so sinister. Oh man. They make it sound like she was eaten by zombies. All right, the Doctor cried as he stood over his young friend's lifeless body after Clara collapsed in the street. The chilling nature of Clara's death has sparked controversy and forced BBC bosses to defend the decision to show it before the 9 p.m. watershed. Oh my gosh. Of course, Stephen Moffat denied the scenes were too gruesome for children. Come on, people. Okay. Jenna 29 was taken aback at how she was killed in Face the Raven after 3 years on the show. It was a surprise when I read the script, quote, but it did not go in a direction I thought it was going to, but it's really cool and different and good, I think, and sad. End quote. Now, Moffat 54 rejected fears that the show's 8-10 start was too early to screen Clara's final moments. He said, I'm not fearing a backlash. Scaring kids in a non-harrowing, non-horrifying way is fine. Kids love being scared and playing scary things. They love things like Halloween. You have to be responsible about it. That doesn't mean it isn't shocking or troubling, but it is not like children to learn about the realities of people dying from Doctor Who. Many have probably lost people in their lives already. If they can come to terms with losing a grandparent, I think they'll be all right with the death of a character in Doctor Who. I don't think we can subtract the idea. Sorry. Throat's dying. Hang on. Coffee. There we go. I don't think we can say that we're not allowed that to kill off characters. And then it goes on a little bit more, but you get the gist of it. People are throwing, fits over nothing, and it's probably nothing. It's probably just, a bunch of conservatives going crazy. But well, I don't get into local politics, so let's move on. Okay, Jenna Coleman reveals she would love to return to Doctor Who after Clara Oswald's exit. It's not going to happen, I don't think. Unless it's possibly in a special or something. Quote, I think it would depend on the story. I think Moffat is very clever about that. I think once we've built up to an exit, and we've been talking about when Clara would leave for quite a while, I have such a fond and special relationship with the Doctor. If it was the right nature of the story, then I would love to. All right, and what do you call it? She had, of course, we just read that about how she was, surprised by her character's end when she read the script. So, moving on. Peter Capaldi runs from Monsters and Unearths Mysteries and Doctor Who Heaven Sent trailer. This little gift captures from the trailer. Nothing spoilery, so don't worry about it. And they don't really give anything away, so you're fine here, okay? All right, Doctor Who Festival down in Australia. My friend AJ, you know him from the Omega Files. He was down there wandering about. He got to take a look, gander at this past weekend. And if you want to look through some of the pictures, boom, here they are. And of course, there's a nice little pic of Capaldi and White. There's another pic running around on Facebook of Capaldi, Ingrid Oliver, and Sylvester McCoy. I bet that was a fun conversation. All right. Face the Raven overnight viewing figures was at 4.42 million viewers. And that, once again, that's unofficial. So don't go, oh my God. But actually that is quite higher than they have been lately. And that's not bad. Okay. So don't worry about it. That's unofficial. Okay. That'll probably be easily near 7 million by the time the fully official figures come out by the end of the week. Okay. And here's I put this one up here mainly, Doctor in Australia, and he brought a mythical cyborg with him. And of course, you all recognize that as one of was it the Mir or the Meyer? It's been a while since I watched that one, a couple weeks, so I couldn't remember. I think it's the Meyer. And I just wanted this here, so if you folks want to go just snatch a few of these really cool photos of Capaldi with the cyborg there, go right ahead. Here it is. And don't worry, link below in the description box as usual. All right. Now, here's where he might get a little bit spoilery. All right, just a wee bit. It is. We're getting close to the end. Don't worry. This adventure features, all right, this is a little synopsis on what's on TV. All right, this adventure, almost said episode, features only the Doctor who's still angry and devastated after his companion Clara was killed in the previous episode. He's never felt more alone and wants to get to his home planet Gallifrey, but somehow he gets trapped in a castle-like world, which is unlike any other place he's experienced before, and there are reminders of Clara everywhere. It's here the Doctor discovers and finds out that he must pass an almost impossible challenge to escape, but standing in his way is a fearsome creature, the Veil, which could well be the hybrid, half Dalek, half Time Lord. The warrior that's been a Time Lord legend for centuries. But is it a friend or a foe? The Doctor can only find out by facing it and his fears. And lastly, for today, this one I had to put on. I was going to cut this one, but you're going to die laughing. Read this one and just read the tweets. Now, a lot of people, do know this, that David Tennant is currently playing, Kilgrave, a.k.a. the Purple Man, in the Netflix's Marvel's Jessica Jones series. And he is I'm just 2 episodes in right now, and he is quite the bastard. I'm not gonna I hate to shirk the language on you, but that's the only way to describe him. He is just mighty evil. And a lot of fans are throwing a fit because he uses his Dr. 10 English accent. And that's mentioned a few times here in the tweets. They show up, and a lot of these guys are going, he's ruined his era of Doctor Who by doing that. Guys, he's an actor. He can't live off Doctor Who for the rest of his life as much as he'd like to. He's got a family to raise, and there's other projects he'd like to partake in. Well, sure, he probably could live off Doctor Who for the rest of his life. He's coming back with Catherine Tate for Big Finish, but for the 10th Doctor adventures. And also, gosh only knows, how much he's probably getting, a lot of fanfare at conventions and whatnot. But come on, as an actor, he wants to go out there, he wants to try different things, and I think he's just astonishing in that role. Okay, so I'm going to get off here because I know this one's dragging on quite a bit. So once again, if you're not happy with what you're seeing on Doctor Who, quit complaining all the time, man. I used to do that. I did. I was one of those guys who went, oh my God, the show's gonna suck. But these last 2 series, I can't complain. There's nothing I haven't really liked. Well, other than Forest of the Night and maybe Kill the Moon. But, those happen. At least they weren't loving monsters bad. But, well, I'm going to get on out of here before I keep rambling. So, once again, everybody take care, ta-ta, enjoy the rest of your week. I'll see you all tomorrow. Good night.